Hey everyone, welcome back to Nurse Love Addiction. Last time we got settled in at school. I think we met all the major players in the story. We learned some stuff. There's a lot that was said to us that we don't understand, but I assume, as with most things, the understanding will come with time. So let's see what tomorrow, or tonight, I guess, has in store for us. That night, as I get inside my bed, right, we were left with that mystery of what healing hands means. I think back on Nao's words. Even I am aware of what this term means. In fact, anyone who aspires to be a nurse is most likely aware of this strange power. Just by touching someone, they can remove that person's pain and suffering and ease the symptoms of their sickness. Among the general population, it's usually put down to the placebo effect, and it's lumped in with other superstitions and old wives' tales. And yet, apparently, Miss Takeda and Miss Amato have this power. If it comes to magic charms, then Nao can use them too. Every year during the rainy season, I am plagued by headaches. However, when this happens, Nao casts a charm on me that helps ease the pain. Nao says this and we sit without, legs folded under us, facing each other. Then drawing our faces close, we let our foreheads touch. Nao's voice slowly drifts towards me. The words of the charm that Nao thought up. It's a childish charm, simply reversing the words, make the pain go away. But the effect has always been immediate. As Nao would continue to say the charm, my headache would simply float away and disappear. I wonder if that's the same thing. I hear Nao's quiet voice from the bed above mine. It seems she's still awake. In the darkness, both of us giggle. Even though we already said goodnight earlier, we say it again. Then, and off to sleep I go. So there's a bit of a fantasy element they're playing in, I think. I do have to say, I like that the story, that the narrative kind of thrusts you into some of these weird, curious concepts about the world and is kind of letting them unfold, not straight up explaining to them. Oh, come on. We were gonna get up on our own, right? Well, change doesn't happen overnight. My second attempt at independence from Nao ends in failure. Better luck next time, me.
今日から武田さんと天藤さんも出席してみんな揃いましたね。
I see both Miss Takeda and Miss Amato in the classroom. Oh, both of them are staying at the Hakuran dormitory as us. I found out this morning when I saw them walking ahead of us on our way to the academy.
ええ、昨日はすみませんでした、大原先生。どうもどうも。
The two of them gather the attention of everyone in the classroom. So that's what it's like to be famous.
いえ、授業が始まるのは今日からですから。ただ、入学式に出られなかったのは残念でしたね。では、朝のホームルームを始める前に、2人にはクラスのみんなに自己紹介をしてもらいましょうか。武田さんから。
Ms. O'Hara calls out to Miss Takeda. Miss Takeda stands up. I gaze up at Miss Takeda, but she shows no sign of noticing me.
武田咲也です。私が看護の道を志したのは、それが自分のすべきことだと思ったから、それだけです。
Miss Takeda simply says this and sits down. The aura of greatness about her is palpable. A low ooh rumbles throughout the classroom.
でも、具体的には何も言ってないような。
I don't know, apparently she has pretty powerful charm and ways of persuasion about her. Next, Miss Amato smoothly stands up from her chair.
天藤樹、私は趣味と実益を兼ねて、かな？詳しくは内緒。
Oh, how mysterious. She says this and sits down in one smooth motion. Who keeps things secret during an introduction? Right? It's like begging for attention. Begging people to ask and figure it out. Exactly.
お姉ちゃんがイチャモンつけてばっかりのヤシウマさんみたいになってる。
And yet, small gasps of whoa echo throughout the classroom. Everyone is loving it. No fair. Sitting down, Miss Amato turns towards me and lets out a giggle before silently moving her lips to form the words dummy girl. I had thought when she had said, "It's not what it seems," that she'd been telling me not to take the nickname to heart, that it was a joke. But I guess that wasn't the case.
やっと見つけた。
Had she meant to say that those words were not what they seemed? In any case, I have no idea what she was talking about.
はい、2人ともありがとう。では、ホームルームを始めますね。
Ms. O'Hara's smile is just as flawless today. Her soft voice flows through the classroom.
今日は午後の授業で早速基礎看護技術の実習がありますが、皆さん実習着はちゃんと持ってきていますか？
One class at the nursing academy runs for 90 minutes. There are 2 classes each morning and 2 each afternoon. The first class is English. The second is Anatomical physiology. So, let me explain to you what anatomical physiology is. Basically, it's a class where we learn about the mechanisms and motions of the body's organs, skeleton, and so on. I opened the textbook and my initial reaction is that it is filled with visual images, especially in contrast to the English and math textbooks.
人体ってすごい。
However, my amusement is short-lived. I underestimated the gravity of the situation. Well, I have a tendency of doing that. After all, I am the manager of the Jellyfish Club. The teacher of the anatomical physiology class is
人
talking.
体を構成する206の骨の名前と箇所、すべて覚えること。これは看護における基礎中の基礎だよ。来週の授業で確認の小テストするから。9割取れなかったら、取れるまで放課後再テストだからね。
God, only 90? You think the standards would be a little higher. The teacher's tone is friendly, but the words resound within the classroom, within me.
看護学校怖い。
Is there really an emoji type thing in the text box that's I don't know how I feel about that. Why did I have to say I'm gonna be a nurse when I was a kid? Do you suppose not being able to remember the names of the bones would disqualify me from the Nightingale Award? I wonder if amongst the winners of the Nightingale Award there was someone who didn't remember the names of the bones at all. Yeah, highly unlikely. After class, resembling something like a used tea bag, I weakly get up from my chair. With a worried expression on her face, now waves to me, and I head out to the hallway. Oh boy. I open the classroom door and run to Miss Takeda. Perhaps she had gone to the bathroom, but she looks up at me in shock at the perfect timing with which we had both opened the door. Most likely, my face mirrors her expression. There's a slightly dubious expression on Miss Takeda's face as she speaks. I scramble away from the front of the door. Miss Takeda passes me as if I don't exist, or so I think for a moment. Suddenly, she stops and turns towards me. We're now face to face, and close. As I gaze at her face, my heart skips a beat at how beautiful she is. So, she had remembered my name from my introduction yesterday. Without any further words, she enters the classroom. Did she just say something mean and cold? I think she did, but... I'm sure she did, but... I clutch my chest. There is no pain. Quite possibly. I shake my head and turn around. I follow her form with my eyes. I see her flowing hair and her graceful back, a back that rejects any attempt on my part to initiate conversation. Lunch break finishes and afternoon classes begin. Having changed into our training uniforms, we have all gathered in the training room. Rows of white beds are laid out, and between each bed stand several students. Even as she says I'm nervous too, now seems completely fine. Of course, amongst the students, I can see Miss Takeda and Miss Amato as well. Neither of them show any signs of being nervous as they talk about something between themselves. For the most part, Miss Amato seems to be whispering in Miss Takeda's ears as she responds in an offhand manner. But sometimes... Sometimes a small smile forms on her lips. The bell sounds in the front of the training room, and the front door of the training room opens. Ms. O'Hara walks in. During homeroom this morning, she had been dressed in her own clothes, but now she is wearing her white uniform. I reconfirm my earlier assessment that the white uniform and nurse's cap truly suit Ms. O'Hara perfectly. I guess, like our training uniform, she only wears it during training. Wait, but then why was she wearing her white uniform yesterday? Was it her way of welcoming us new students?
やっぱり先生って。
I thought so.
揃ってますね、皆さん。緊張している人もいますか？
Ms. O'Hara's words send a slight jolt down my back.
今日の基礎看護技術ではベッドメイキングの実習を行います。看護師になれば毎日何度も行うことになります。入院中の患者さんが長い時間を過ごされるベッドを清潔に保つ大事な作業ですから。
We all respond in confirmation.
一度先生がお手本を見せます。説明しながら行いますから、それを見て皆さんにもやってもらいましょう。そうですね。では。
Ms. O'Hara comes to the front of the bed. A new sheet folded in four has been placed on top of the bed.
なるべく近くで見てください。その方がよくわかりますよ。
She smiles. Responding to Miss O'Hara's angelic smile, we all gather around the bed. Then,
まず最初に。
Miss O'Hara moves her hand slowly, most likely to make it easier for us to comprehend. I watch her as she carefully makes the bed. I can't help myself from imagining white wings sprouting from her back. In fact, I doubt anyone would be able to prevent that image from forming in their mind.
そしてシーツにシワが寄らないようにしっかり伸ばして端は三角にしてマットに入れ込むこと。シーツにシワがあればシワが患者さんの体を圧迫し、特に寝たきりの患者さんや皮膚の弱い患者さんだとすぐに褥瘡、床ずれができてしまいます。
We silently take in her words. From all around, I can hear the sound of scribbling pens as students take notes. I watch Miss O'Hara as if I'm being drawn into her.
またシーツ交換をする際、患者さんの持ち物を動かしたら必ず元の位置に戻すこと。患者さんはとてもナーバスになっているので、ちょっとしたことが不安の材料になったりもします。ただし、
Ms. O'Hara's words flow, her body never taking a moment to rest as she moves serenely and gracefully.
さすがね。
I hear Miss Takeda whisper quietly. Responding to her voice, I look towards her, and our eyes meet. Smile, smile, give her a friendly smile, just like Miss O'Hara's smile. I don't know if that's gonna get across the message you want, Asuka. She turns away and ignores me. Mission failed. It's okay. A for effort, Asuka. A for effort.
よそ見ですか？ちゃんと見てないとダメですよ。
Ms. O'Hara says this without seeming to look in my direction.
すみません。
I quickly return my gaze. Even though Miss O'Hara's actions are slow, she makes no unnecessary movements, and she's already applying the finishing touches to the bed making.
そして最後に、個室でない限り他のベッドには患者さんがいますから、バタバタして埃を立てないように静かに手早く行うこと。はい、以上です。
Ms. O'Hara runs her hand over the newly placed sheet, smoothing out the few micro creases left. Then she looks at us. The bed that Miss O'Hara has made with her own hands looks undeniably inviting. It seems to glimmer white.
このベッドで昼寝したら死ぬほど気持ちよさそう。
That must be one well-made bed.
どうですか、大幸あすかさん。
Just as I think such thoughts, she abruptly calls on me.
あ、寝てみたいです。お姉ちゃん？わあ、そうじゃなくて。患者さんにもそう思ってもらいましょう。手順覚えましたか？いいね。
Miss Amato suppresses her voice as she laughs. Damn it! I look and see that Miss Takeda also has an exasperated expression on her face. But what's done is done. After Miss O'Hara's demonstration finishes, we all begin practicing on individual beds. At first, Miss O'Hara tells us to work in pairs to a single bed. Now and I pair together and stand on opposite sides of a bed. To be fair, bed making is very difficult. I am awful at it. And I imagine if you were a nurse and you had to worry about patients who were sick and nervous, it would be so much more pressure. Now flashes me a smile. I'll be alright. I did space out a little, but I had been watching Miss O'Hara's movements properly and had been listening to the instructions. Besides, it's not just me, but the two of us. This will be a walk in the park. However, oh boy, that's bad. When they gotta censor out the bed, that is one poorly made bed. Before my eyes, a bed so tragically made that it looked that if I took a nap on it, I'd be guaranteed to have nightmares. The sheets are a mess. The original sheet and replacement sheet seem to have somehow managed to tangle together, leaving us unable to discern which is which. It could possibly pass as some bizarre piece of modern art, or mysteriously entangled life forms. Maybe. Now looks at me apologetically, but of course the responsibility lies with me. But... I just don't understand how you mess up a bed that poorly. Now covers her mouth. I look on with a serious expression on my face. Ms. O'Hara has walked over to our bed. I'm embarrassed for her to see the tragic-looking bed, but Ms. O'Hara doesn't laugh upon seeing our travesty. Instead, she gives us precise instructions, and like magic, we manage to return the bed to its original state. Then she looks at me and smiles. Aw, see, that's sweet. That's what a good teacher would do. Being spoken to gently in this way, it's all I can do to stop myself from crying. A while later... There, in front of me. Well, you'd have to be fairly odd to want to sleep in a bed like this, but I've managed to make it into something that's recognizable, as something that is supposed to function as a bed. This is the finished product of my bed making. But only 30 points. Miss O'Hara says this with a wry laugh. Understandably, she has to be tough on me this time. The 30 points are like a jab through my heart. Ms. O'Hara smiles her angelic smile. She distances herself from our bed and moves on to another pair of students. It's Miss Takeda and Miss Amato's bed. Miss Takeda touches the newly laid out sheet with her hand. As I listen to their voices, I look down at my bed and mutter.
初のベッド採点してもらったら何点だったんだろう。
I wonder if they have negative scores. Don't be so hard on yourself. Later that day, as we make our way home from school, so many awkward gasps. For some reason, we're walking with Miss Takeda and Miss Amato. Well, we do belong to the same class and the same dorm, so it's not odd that we'd end up together on our way home. Now and I, and a little distance away, Miss Takeda and Miss Amato.
ふざけた話。それで続けられるとは思えないわね。気まずい。お姉ちゃん。
Now observes my silence questioningly. I try laughing for no reason, positioned between myself and Miss Takeda, although at some distance, now cast furtive glances between the two of us. Then,
武田さん、ベッドメイキング上手だ。
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut that off. Now strikes up a friendly conversation, and Miss Takeda looks somewhat surprised momentarily. However, she quickly regains her composure.
そうね。先生からもそう言ってもらえたのは良かったけれど。春休み自主トレした甲斐があったってことね、姫。だから学校でその呼び方は。はーい先生、通学路は学校に入らないと思います。
Each time Miss Amato calls Miss Takeda princess, a troubled look flits across her face, which is unfortunate because the name suits her. Anyway, now is not the time to be thinking thoughts like that.
自主トレなんてしてたんだ。すごい。私なんて寝てばっかりで。寝てばかり？お姉ちゃん受験頑張ったの。でもちょっと太っちゃったんだよね。わあ、のーちゃん、それはトップシークレットだよ。言っちゃダメ。
Miss Takeda lets out a sigh. I've exasperated her again.
いつきも余計なこと教えないで。いいじゃん。天才ぶりたいわけじゃないんでしょ。最初はいきなり私をベッドに寝かせてやるもんだから、こっちは落っこちまくって青あざだら
I
け。
feel like that'd be really difficult to make the bed with someone in it.
手順は合ってるはずって言って聞かなくてさ。っていつき。
Miss Takeda's face is a bright red. I'd only giggled slightly, but in response she stares daggers at me. My first impression of the two of them from yesterday at the stairway, the soft, elegant Miss Takeda and the cool, intelligent Miss Amato. But it seems I may have been wrong about them, and the way they are now is who they really seem to be. The distance between me and Miss Takeda, I feel both as if we've gotten closer and further apart at the same time.
白衣性愛情依存症。
Then, on our first day off since entering Taito Nursing Academy, in our dorm room, I sit lifelessly at the table, moaning.
カエルってなんでゲコゲコって鳴くんだろう。
Ever since school started, every day we've been tied down by technical classroom lectures and training, with no regard to the fact that we're new students in our first week of study. On the table, a cup of the green tea now has made for me sits there steaming. Perhaps, since until elementary school I had been Grandma's little girl, I'm more used to drinking traditional green tea than coffee or black tea. now is currently sitting at her study desk and most likely reviewing this week's classes. She's such a good girl. Well, I know I have to do it too. I know, but...
ナイチンゲール賞ね。やっぱり取れなくていいかな。
I consider such pathetic thoughts in my heart. I sipped the green tea and let out a lazy sigh. I remember what my teacher had written in my report card when I was in elementary school. Habits of being lazy. When excited about something, she sets extremely high goals for herself, but compromises immediately. Oh, please, everyone's guilty of both of those to some degree. Lacks perseverance. No self-discipline. Ruthless, but spot on, Miss Toyama.
元気にしてるかな、富山先生。あ、小学校の時の？
Now responds to my murmurings as she continues to look at her notebook.
看護学校に入ったこと知ったらなんて言うかなって。喜んでくれるよ、きっと。そうかな。まあいいや。おトイレ。
I grunt and get up. I head towards the toilet near the entrance of her room. I think to myself that once I finish using the bathroom, I'll follow Nao's example and review our studies as well. Thinking such thoughts, I walk to the door. Standing there is a skeleton, bones, skeletal structure, life-sized, complete. Our eyes meet as its empty sockets gaze at me. Oh my god. What? I rush back and collapse onto the floor next to Nao.
どうしたの、お姉ちゃん。骨が、骸骨さんがドアの前に立ってて。ああ、それのこと？
Nao grins and says,
立ってないよ。貼ってあったでしょ。人体骨格図が。人体骨格図。そう。ほらお姉ちゃん、解剖生理の授業の後、全部の骨の名前なんて覚えられないって言ってたから。
Nao's words bring back my memory.
人体を構成する206の骨の名前と箇所、すべて覚えること。これは看護における基礎中の基礎だよ。来週の授業で確認の小テストするから。9割取れなかったら取れるまで放課後再テストだからね。だから先生にいい覚え方はないですかって聞いてみたんだよ。そしたら教えてくれたんだ。
Nao's smart and she's practical. I like that.
トイレの前に人体骨格図を貼ってね。骨の名前を何箇所か付箋とかで隠しておくんだって。それでトイレに行きたくなったら付箋で隠してある骨の名前を当てるの。当てるまで入っちゃダメってルールで。おお。
Yeah, that can either be amazing or absolutely devastating depending on the situation. I tremble.
大丈夫だよ。まだ1個だけだから。嘘！
I scramble back to in front of the toilet.
本当だ。
There is indeed a copy of a life-size anatomical chart spread out and glued to the door. There are lines branching from each bone leading to their specific names. The name of only one of them is hidden by a light blue post-it. It is the name of the lowest bone located on the center of the chest. That is not what's covered shown in that picture. Also, that picture is definitely not life-sized. The bone above it is labeled the sternum. Now, what is the one below it called? That's the question.
骨はなんとなく覚えてる。でももう一本 わかんねえ。お姉ちゃん、言葉遣いちら。
I cast a glimpse towards Now. She's facing her desk again and is looking away from me. If I'm going to do it, now is my chance. I think I'll cheat. After all, I really need to use the toilet. At this rate, I'll end up becoming Wet Pants Asuka. I must avoid that at all costs. I gulped down my anxiety, and eyeing Now, I placed my fingers onto the post-it. I'll take a quick glimpse at it and pretend like I just remembered the name. Classic. Alright, I can do this. Just a quick, tiny glimpse. Peek. Xiphoid process. Now surprised voice. In the end, I put aside my pride and tell Now honestly. I realized then, of course, that I had no reason to worry about peeing my pants. Apparently the X in xiphoid process is pronounced as a Z. Now teaches me how to pronounce the word, and so my anxiety is laid to rest. However, later that day at dinner, saying this, Now lays out the freshly cooked food on the table. Looking at the food, I realize something is unusual. So much for being independent from our sister. She's the one who's coming up with all the great studying tips. Now grins at me. Now continues to grin. In the end, when Now switches into gear, she becomes hardcore with her Spartan-style teaching, although she's still gentle. Oh, this reminds me of when we were studying for our exams. Oh, I wanted to see how the study meal would have gone. I'm guessing it probably didn't go well. Asuka probably starved as well. Early afternoon, I'm walking my usual route to school when... Uh-oh. I hear the sound of someone crying, a distinguishably childish cry. I change my direction towards where the crying is coming from. Then... the two of them are there. Oh. Wow, harsh. It's really just a kid.
はいはい、すんませんでした。で、病院連れてくしかないんじゃない？それじゃ。ちょっと泣き止ませないと動かすのは難しいわね。ほら、おとなしくして。病院に連れて行ってあげるから。やだー！痛いよー！ だからその痛いのを治療するために病院連れてくんでしょうが。って言ってもわかんないか。子供が落っこちて怪我して、それを何とかしようとしてる。
Miss Takeda and Miss Amato, it seems like that's what's going on, but for some reason all I can do is hide in the shadows and watch them. Why am I hiding?
なんか勢いと言いますか、別に野じ馬とかそんなんじゃなくて。
As I attempt to justify my actions.
しゃあねえな。よし、私にやらせて。いつき、もうここで傷塞いじまおう。そうすりゃガキもおとなしくなるでしょ。あなた癒しの手を。うん、まあね。てかとっとと黙らせたい、そのガキ。今癒しの手って言った？武田さんと天藤さん、癒しの手持ってるんだって。姫、ほら。いえ、いつき、それなら私がやるわ。え？この子を見つけたのは私だし、それに。
Here, Miss Takeda falls silent for a moment.
私の方が上手に使えるわ。ま、そうだけどさ。わかった。じゃあ任せるよ。
All I can do is stare at them from the shadows. Healing hands? Really?
あなた、ちょっとの間だけじっとしてなさい。すぐに痛くなくなるから。ね。
Miss Takeda says this as if to reassure the kid. Then...
ああ、もう、ここからじゃ子供に何してるのかよく見えないよ。
And I'm curious, so curious. I must be involuntarily craning forward in my excitement so that I can see more. はい、もう傷塞がったわ。どう？あ、本当だ。もう全然痛くないよ。頭全然痛くない。すごい。お姉ちゃん、魔法使いなの？違うわ。ただの看護学生よ。 Miss Takeda says this, making no attempt at showing off.
なおちゃん。何？お姉ちゃん。
Once I get back home, I tell now what I saw on my way home from school.
だからね、噂は事実だったんだよ。武田さんと天藤さんが癒しの手持ってるの。すごいよね。魔法使いって言われてたし。お姉ちゃん。
As I enthusiastically tell her what happened, now doesn't seem nearly as impressed.
はい？今聞いた限りだと、お姉ちゃんは実際に子供の頭の傷が塞がってるところを見たってわけじゃないみたいだけど、そういうことでいいのかな？うん。じゃあまだわかんないんじゃないかな。魔法みたいな力か。
What? Now you're the one who told us about the healing hands. Unless you think it's a placebo thing.
子供って特にそういうプラシーボとかおまじないみたいなの素直に聞いちゃうだろうし。おまじないってなおちゃんみたいな？
Well, though it is true, I guess. Power of persuasion is very strong.
なおのはお姉ちゃん専用だけどね。うん。でもそっか。 かな。
Hearing these words from now, I begin to think that might be the case.
わかんないけどね。けど何にせよ本人たちが言ってない以上周りが騒ぐのは良くないんじゃないかなって。いい気しないかもしれないでしょ。あ。
Now grins sardonically.
噂のことお姉ちゃんに教えたのナオなんだけど、ナオも気をつけなきゃ。うん。でもそっか、そうだね。
Having been told this, I think back to how Miss Takeda and Miss Amato had acted. It's true, they didn't seem proud or pleased about what they had done. It wasn't anything like that.
胸にしまっとこう。
And so that's what I decide to do.
白衣性愛情依存症。 では今から20分間自習とします。その後小テスト。
Pathology class. Edema. Oh god. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce these words. I don't even know what any of them mean. Such difficult words dance across the whiteboard. Amongst our classes, this is considered to be one of the most advanced. Of course, I'm horrible at it.
せめて全部ひらがなならまだ親しみが。お姉ちゃん、それ余計わかりにくいよ。
I consider how they'd appear as pronunciation symbols. She's right. Surprise, surprise. Our time for memorization before our short test begins. The classroom has fallen silent with the sound of textbook pages turning and pens scribbling across the notebooks filling the room. I at least attempt to open my textbook and hammer the words into my head, but...
頑張ろうね、お姉ちゃん。なおちゃん。わかんないところがあったらいつでも聞いて。
Something I don't know.
私、なんでここにいるんだろう。それは。
I don't think that's quite what Now meant. Now's worried face. I've worried her. I'm a failure as her elder sister.
優しい海に抱かれて眠りたい。
Such meaningless thoughts dance in my head. The former Jellyfish Club manager, jellyfishish me. From the seat next to me, the side that now isn't on, someone nudges my shoulder.
はい、これ。
Ooh, what could this be? Held out to me is a folded piece of paper, a letter. On the bottom right it says in small letters, Itsuki. Oh boy. I wonder if it just says like, I could just imagine it saying like dummy girl. That's it. Sensing her gaze, I turn my face towards her and my eyes make contact with Miss Amato's. She points towards my hands. She appears to be gesturing for me to read the letter.
なんだろう。
I carefully open the folded letter.
大幸飛鳥、新能女子高校出身、4月2日生まれ。
Oh, that's creepy. She knows when we were born.
血液型 B 型、
And
身
she
長
knows all this other
154
stuff
センチ、
about us.
体重48キロ。春休みに3キロ増えてこの数
Oh,
字。
but come on, did you really have to include this? That's just mean.
3サイズ、バスト81、ウエスト63、ヒップ85。合ってる？何これ！
A list of all my personal information? Even my measurements are correct. How did she find this out? I cast a glance towards Miss Amato and see her grinning at me. She points to her eyes and then towards my chest. Does that mean she figured it out just by looking at me? I don't know if I should be impressed or creeped out. Miss Amato makes an okay sign with her fingers. She seems to be asking me if she's right. I furrow my eyebrows and shake my head. I draw a line through where it says 3 kilograms and write, I only gained 2 before sending back the letter. The letter passes from student to student, and before long it is in Miss Amato's hands again. Miss Amato opens the letter and reads it before breaking into a grin. She writes something on a new piece of paper, folds it, and passes it down the row of students until it once again reaches me. I open it.
3じゃなくていいね。教えてくれてありがとう。修正しとく。
Smart ass. Huh?
何正直に教えちゃってるの私。え、ちょっと待って。それに修正って何
Aggravated at myself for having so easily released top secret information, I bury my head in my hands. With all that is going on, my test results are dismal, unsurprisingly. That day, there's an announcement from Miss O'Hara during the afternoon homeroom. She tells us that tomorrow, during basic nursing skills class, we'll be taking a bed-making test. Later that evening, at a somewhat early hour, I mutter.
でも大丈夫だよ。お姉ちゃん、放課後いっぱい練習してたもん。座学と違って楽しいからね。気持ちはわかるけど、そこまではっきり言うのはどうかな、お姉ちゃん。
There's no denying that it's difficult, but it's so much more fun than sitting down and studying. It's about 100 times more fun than pathology.
なので、最後の確認でちょっと実習室行ってきます。え、今から？ギリギリ学校空いてる時間だし、一回さらっとやってくるだけだよ。
I say it as if I'm just going for a casual jog and begin to prepare for my trip to the school.
じゃあ、なおも行くよ。いいよいいよ、一人で大丈夫。なおちゃんはのんびりしてて。でも、行ってくるぜ、お前。今夜は大量だ。はい、行ってらっしゃい、あなた。夜の海は気をつけて。おうよ。
We play at being a fisherman and his wife for a moment. Then I leave the dorm. I walk the night road, my feet moving a little faster than usual. Occasionally, I glance up at the night sky.
まだまだ遠いな。
The world of the stars is exasperatingly far. Even now, I'm swaying in the waves as I look up at the starry sky, still a jellyfish girl. How to catch a star? I still don't feel like I'm anywhere close to catching them. On the other hand, I felt like giving up countless times. Every year amongst nursing students, around the time they advance to the next year, about 10 to 20% of the students drop out. By the time graduation comes along, only about 60% remain. I know myself that I'm the type of person who'd fall under the other 40. Even before graduation, there are things like the national qualification examinations. Apparently now has already begun planning for the national exams. Yes, all for the sake of her elder sister. Makes me want to cry. I mutter as I reach my hands out towards the starry sky. I grip my fist and relax it as if to see if I've caught a fistful of starlight. But there's no sense of reality to my actions. And opening my fist, there is no sign of starlight. My words alone are grandiose. I think such thoughts even though I have no idea of what Miss O'Hara was like during her years as a nurse. And yet I am filled with admiration for her. How she looks in her white uniform. The white-robed angel. I arrive at the school. It's already night, but perhaps because it is still not that late, I can see light coming from some of the windows, the staff room, the library, the hallways, and even the training room.
誰か練習してるのかな?
Although not that late, night is night. It hadn't crossed my mind that anyone other than me would want to practice.
誰だろう?
At the lockers, I change into my training uniform and head to the training room. The door is slightly ajar. I find myself quietly tiptoeing up to the door. I hear voices inside.
はい、私の勝ち。
It's Miss Decatur and Miss Amato. I wonder if it's just the two of them in there. There shouldn't be any problem with me just walking in, but...
だから、私はベッドメイキングの練習は遊びでやるものじゃないと。あ、終わった後で言うんだ。らしくないね。だって、それはあなたがしつこく何度も勝負と言うから。いえ、そうね。やめるわ。切磋琢磨するのは大事。それには競い合わないとね。うまく言おうとしないで。普通に練習してるのに飽きただけのくせに。いやあ、飽き性なもんで。私は別に付き合わなくていいと言ったはずよ。それはそれで寂しい。部屋で一人なんてさ。どの口が言っているの？たくさん誘われてるんでしょ？クラスの子から。昨夜以外眼中にないよ、私は。
I feel dizzy, as if my head were spinning. This situation, it's making it harder for me to walk in. Awkward, but I can't seem to move away from the door either. I seem to have stumbled on quite the scenario.
じゃあ、勝者のご褒美もらおうかな。何を言っているの？いつき。何って勝負事にはつきものでしょ？ご褒美。待って、聞いていないわ、そんなことは。あれ？言ってなかったっけ？当たり前だわ。聞いていたらこんな勝負には乗ってな。
Uh-oh. Oh. Oh, that just happened. Alright. Next time, we will see what we decide to do, since clearly we've intruded on a private moment. Well, now it's private. Possibly. Anyways, next time we'll find out. See you then.